Previously on Raising American Lamb. From spring country and lambs beginning to grow, we headed for the high elevation and green grass of the summertime range on the mountain. The lambs have grown, the sheep are happy, and with that, summertime has come and gone. The chill in the air and the days getting shorter means it's time for us to take the next step in our journey. We live a dying way of life. We make a living off the land and the livestock we run on it. It might look different depending on where you go, but this is what it takes us to produce American lamb and wool to put on your table and in your home. Summer's over, and the beginning of fall is upon us. The days are getting shorter, the air's getting colder on the mountain, and it's time to go separate ways with the ewes and lambs, all of which is done on trucks. Before we start trucking, fall gives us the opportunity to go through each of our trucks and trailers and all their tires and make sure we are ready for the long hauls ahead. We can't afford breakdowns or problems when it comes to moving livestock, especially this time of year. We're going to go with one bunch of ewes or lambs several times a week. Whether down the mountain to the ranch or across the west and into different states, safety is our top priority, both ours and yours. We all want to come home at the end of the day. In order to do that, we need our trucks running and working their best so that we can too. There's a lot more to raising lambs than you might think. In order to move when we need to move and do what we need to do, we rely on trucks to be in good working condition so that we can load, move, and haul at a moment's notice. Part of this is making sure all of our tires are in good shape and round on all sides. We don't like tires that are flat on the bottom, and we sure try to keep everything with good rubber all the way around, trucks and trailers. As you can imagine, there's more than just a few tires around this place. It takes a lot to keep everything good to go and in working shape. Fall is especially busy for us. We use this time to take an extra look at each truck, each trailer, and each tire. Consequently, a lot of our repairs and tire changes are done now before we start to haul these longer distances. As we begin to start shipping our lambs, there is a lot of coordinating that goes into when each herd will go, based on feed, location, elevation, weather, and accessibility for our trucks. We need to coordinate with the buyer of our lambs so they can prepare to receive them on their end and be ready when they arrive. We have herds that are scattered across the mountain range here in central Utah and near the ranch. A few years ago, we were able to build a new creel that has a central location for 4 of our herds, 3 of which are just a short walk from being able to use this creel, and we try to plan our first bunch of lambs to be shipped to come out of these 3 herds and using the new creel. Each herd has to be brought close to the creel so we can get them in before dark, but kept staggered enough to give us space to bring in 1 herd at a time. Each herd will be ran through the creel, the lambs separated off, the ewes worked, and then brought back to their respective permit until it's time to bring them off the mountain and to the fall range. It's important to keep all the herds separate in order to make this process easier. It's quite the sight to see 3 whole bunches of sheep in one place, to see the fruits of another long year of work, worry, and stress. Seeing all those sheep in one place and being able to watch the sun go down behind them is something I never get tired of. It means we have made it through another summer, and it's time to do some serious trucking, which is one of my favorite parts of what we do. As we load, we make sure all the lambs are counted and locked into compartments in the trailer to keep them safe and comfortable on their long journey. All the sheep are brought from the back of the corral to the front through the chute. As they get to the front of the chute, we have a cut gate to sort the ewes from the lambs. We load one truck at a time, and the ewes are run back into the corral for the next step in their adventure, which we'll get to in a minute. After we're loaded, we hit the road and head down the mountain to a scale where we will weigh trucks and make sure we have a legal load before hitting the highway and heading to the feedlot where the buyer sends us and where we will unload the lambs. We try to get all of our lambs out of our herds within a week or two. Once we start trucking, we usually go to one after another to get everything sorted, moved, and where they need to be for fall. We load out of several different corrals and places, and usually it goes pretty quick with all the good help we have. Once we're loaded and scaled, we hit the road and go wherever we need to go to unload our woolly cargo. It usually takes all day. By the time we load, come off the mountain, and make it to where we need to be, we usually sleep in the trucks and unload the next morning when the sun comes up. After we unload and all the lambs have made it to their new home, we clean up, hit the road again, and head for home and on to the next load. As the trucks head down the road with the lambs, back at the corral, all the ewes are going through their fall routine as well. While we have the sheep in one place, it gives us the opportunity to go through and give a close look at our herds. We have ear tags in all of our sheep that are color-coded to the year that they were born. This helps us go through and sort off all of the older sheep. That way we can make sure we give close attention to anything that needs help. We give all the sheep medicine to keep them healthy, and those sheep that are too old for our operation, we sort off and sell at a different time. Now is the perfect time to give them a new brand of paint. That will remain on them for fall and winter. Depending on the color and shape of the brand, this helps us know where the sheep will be placed for the last part of the year and which herd it belongs to. Brands and ear tags are extremely important because it differentiates our sheep to someone else's. On our summer ranges, we're close neighbors to other sheep producers, and occasionally herds and sheep can mix. Having a brand and an ear tag makes sure sheep always end up back where they need to be when they get mixed with someone else's. As we get ewes worked and sorted to where they need to go, some will remain on the mountain for a few more weeks, and others we load right on the trucks to get off the mountain. Over the next several weeks, we will be shuffling a lot of sheep from the summer range to the fall range, some on foot and some on trucks, but either way, it's time to move. With all the lambs sorted and the ewes being moved to fall country, it's time for the next step in our fall adventure. We bring in all the sheep once again and go through a process called tagging. Tagging explained is every sheep is brought through a shearing plant, same as in the spring, but this time around they won't be getting a complete shave. we shave off the wool around the eyes so the sheep can see clearly going into the winter months. Thick wool over the face and eyes that doesn't get taken off can cause wool blindness, a condition where the wool over the eyes gets so overgrown it prevents the sheep from being able to see. There are times where the same wool can get wet in the snow or rain, and in freezing temperatures it can freeze closed over their eyes, preventing them from seeing anything at all. We avoid this by shaving around their face to keep it clean and prevent any future problems. Along with the eyes, we shave around their rear in order to keep everything clean going into fall and winter, and it helps with the bucking process coming up around the corner. We've reached the time of year where we need to start preparing for next year's lambs to get here. After sheep are tagged, we put them on alfalfa fields to feed off what's left of the year's crop. This is great feed, and it helps give the sheep a boost for fall, and more importantly, it jumpstarts their reproductive system and gets everything working on time and in sync with the rest of the herd. We need to plan in advance for next year starting at this point. From the day we put in our rams, the ewe will have a 5-month pregnancy, give or take a week or two. We need to plan which herd will need to come off the winter range first, how early they will need to come in before the next herd so we can plan for shearing on each individual bunch. We need to make sure there will be enough space in the lambing sheds to fit all the ewes coming in, and so forth. There is a lot of planning that goes into when we will turn in our rams to start doing their thing, because so much hinges on when the lambs come 5 months later. We try and put harnesses on some of our first bucks. When they work, the harnesses have a block of chalk that will mark each ewe. We can go into the herd after a few days and tell which sheep have been bred and which ones have not. This helps us because we're able to tell which of the ewes are more likely to lamb first because they've been bred first. We take off the harnesses on the bucks after a certain amount of days and leave them to finish working the rest of the herd. When we come in from the winter range in the spring, we will be able to separate the herd based on the marks and put in the first lambers, leaving the rest of the herd in a different place for a few days. Those few days make a big difference when we're crowded in the lambing sheds. It allows us to have a little more control of the herd and where we put them and when. Our sheep are constantly in motion, whether it be from one pasture to another, the mountain to the fall range, or across 3 states to the feedlot. We are always on the go. Planning for next year starts months and months in advance. Everything we do hinges on what we did last year and how well we planned. Not always does it work out the way we wanted it to, but sometimes it does. We are constantly trying to better our program and system so we can find a better way to do what we do. Fall is a great time of year. The days are getting shorter, the weather is getting cooler, and we have successfully taken another year and wild country to produce the amazing product that is American Lamb. Although this is not the end of our story, we have seen the lambs come, grow, and be loaded onto a truck and sent to the feedlot to finish growing. But our ewes are just beginning another cycle with a fresh bunch of lambs in the works and coming our way in the not-so-distant future. We now need to do what we can to make sure our sheep are fed, healthy, and happy during the long winter months to come in the 4th and final part of our Raising American Lamb series. As one cycle ends, with one set of lambs leaving our trucks and the beginning of another with the rams going in, it's not so much like starting over, but continuing a legacy, one long chain of producing an amazing set of products like American Lamb and wool to be shipped all over the world. An organic, natural, healthy food and fiber source from our ranch to your home and table. We are proud of what we do. We love the industry we are a part of, and we are glad for those who are out there keeping our way of life alive.